everyone, welcome back to my channel. Sarah here. Thank you so much for hanging out with me this evening. I am going to jump on the bandwagon of a video I've seen a few people do. It's one that I've done before, but I actually want to redo it, and that is a video about my fountain pen collection. I thought it would also be nice to do it at the start of the year, and it would be interesting to then film it again at the beginning of 2024 and see what's different, what I've kept, what I haven't. I also thought, just knock the camera, it would be good to film again because the first collection video I did was really only a few weeks into liking fountain pens, and I feel like I can speak about them with more knowledge now. So that's what I'm going to do, and I thought I would just do a bit of a writing sample. I've got a bunch inked up, and the ones that aren't, I'll just dip into this Diamine Twilight. I love this ink, and I think it's just a pretty safe one just to see. The ones that are inked up, I'll just leave, and you can see it in those colours. The only pen that I have that isn't here is a Platinum Preppy, because I don't know where it is. I have somehow misplaced it, which I don't really understand. So, I really look forward to doing this, and I'm thinking about, after I film this, I almost want to jump back to the first one I ever did. I'm contemplating whether I put it up in the cards or not, but I think it could be quite an embarrassing video, so maybe I leave it. But without further ado and no more rambles, let's jump in. I'm going to go, I've grouped them in brands and semi how I got them, but it's more so about brands, and I'm kind of going to do Europe and then Asia because that's just kind of how I've lined them up. The first pen is one that my dad gave me, and I'm kind of in the process of restoring it. It had a micro fracture down there. I just need to sand it a bit more to make that smoother. But this is a Parker Arrow. This pen is from the late 80s to early 90s. I think they stopped making it in like 91. And I told my dad that I was getting into fountain pens. He disappeared for like 25 minutes, and he came back and he goes, I was given this, do you want it? He goes, I have no idea what it is, if I ever used it. And he thought at first he got it for his 12th birthday, and then through a Facebook group, when I was able to ID the pen as an Arrow, he worked out that he would have gotten it when he opened up his law firm in the late 80s. So, still like a 30 to 40-year-old odd pen. I don't know what nib width it is, but it writes very wide, so I think it is a broad. And I still have a few little issues with the ink. I don't use it too often because I get ink all over my fingers, but I think I have fixed that crack. But anyway, it is a really beautiful pen. It's so smooth to write with. It just glides across the page. It is possibly a bit too broad for my writing style, but that's okay. This one's more about sentimentality for me. So without further ado, and you can see that the cap doesn't secure very well either. This is the Parker Arrow in what I think, or is it a Parker Fighter Arrow? Now I'm second guessing myself. I didn't write out notes. I'm just doing this off the top of my head. I'm going to go with that this is a broad nib. Let's go Arrow, but it might be an Arrow Fighter, and we'll say broad. You can see there, it's just a really, really thick line. This is Pilot Iroshizuku Fusugun. Bleeds through. It doesn't really suit my writing style, and I just need to work out. I don't know if I need to pull the nib and feed out. You can see there's still some ink getting in there. There's just something else going on, so I think I might need to clean the feed or something. I would like to be able to make this a proper usable pen, but I'm not there yet. But that is the first pen. Next up is, I guess, ones that I actually use. This is a Lamy Safari in blue. This currently has a 1.1 stub nib. It came with a medium nib. I purchased a 1.1 stub because I'm really liking stubs at the moment. A lot of, it's a very widely common and popular pen for good reason. It's simple, it's easy to use, it writes well. For me, the only thing with this pen is I don't like the blue colour. This was actually gifted to my wife, and she doesn't use fountain pen, so it sat in a drawer for years, actually, to be honest, and then I picked it up one day and here we are. I do like the pen. I just am not drawn to the blue colour, so I do wonder if maybe this is one that I sell and find another Lamy. But because I did like the Lamy pen, I then went and purchased my only other Lamy, which is a Lamy AllStar, and this is in the cosmic colour, which is kind of like a metallic champagne. Really like this pen. I got this in an extra fine nib. I do like this colour better. Again, it's easier to use. I like the black barrel with the metal finish there. The extra fine nib can be scratchy, but I don't find it too bad. I definitely wouldn't use it with a really, really dry ink because then it is scratchy, but it's the same nib as the Safari, so you're getting a similar experience there, writing experience, sorry. So I'll just dip that one in some ink so we can see how it writes. Now, with the European nibs being a bit wider, I probably do prefer the extra fine over the medium. I do have a medium nib. It's on another pen, so I'll be able to show you that in a little bit. I don't mind the stub nib, the width of that, because it's wide, I guess, with purpose, but for everyday writing, I do quite like this extra fine nib. I don't mind a bit of feedback. Yeah, some people have quite strong opinions about it. I don't mind it. I don't find it scratchy. I don't find it a deterrent at all. I think it's a really good everyday pen, starter pen, like in that kind of category. The Lamys, I guess they're good pens, but they're not ones that I'm like super drawn to or that I go, oh my God, I love, I need to have one inked up every month. They're good pens, but it kind of just stops there for me. I can't really see myself getting any more of those, though people do rave about the Lamy 2000, but that really is it's in a different league. Next up, I have two Quebecos. I'll start with this one. This is the first one I got. This is the Quebeco Sport Classic in green, so it's the dark green with the gold trim. I got this in a fine nib. Again, I know that some people have had issues with the Quebeco nibs. I've been really lucky. I absolutely love this pen. It wrote beautifully right out of the box. It's fine, but it's smooth. It fits really nicely in my hands. I love writing with it posted. I just, I'm a really big fan of this pen, so much so that I got another one. So this is the first one I got, which is I'm not sure why I wrote big, but I did. And this is in a fine nib. Next up, the other Quebeco I got, I actually found it was being sold secondhand, but the pen and nib had actually never been used. And it's the Quebeco calligraphy set, which comes with this set came with a black sport with the silver trims and 4 nib sizes, a 1.1, 1.5, 1.9 and 2.3. It is currently inked in my ink rotation for this month, so I will show you that one. that's this pen there. And I can put up in the cards, I did a whole video on the different nibs with this pen. So if you're interested in the calligraphy set, definitely go and check that video out. But again, I mean, it's the exact same shape and fit and everything else as the other Quebeco, and I really like it. This might be a bit light. It's inked with Ferris Wheel Press, Madame Mulberry. So 1.1, and I'm just going to kind of go here, 1.9, whoops, 1.5, 2.3. Really love the stub nib on this. You can see straight away you get some really nice shading, With a dry ink, it is just a touch dry. It's not an overly wet pen. So if you have a dry ink and, you know, the stub nib needs more ink, you can feel that a bit. So that's just, I think, something to consider, not using really dry inks with this pen. At least that's my experience, but otherwise I really love it. I've been discovering and falling in love with the stub nib through this pen. Really, really enjoying it. I guess as we move from European pens into Asian pens, this is a bit of a Franken pen at the moment. This is the Junhua 80. Everyone knows this pen. It's super cheap. It looks very similar to another pen. And I'd seen some people actually put Lamy nibs on their Junhua. So I got the Junhua in an extra fine with the gold trimming. So the nib it's not actually gold. It's, I guess, not gold plated. It looks gold. But I wanted to see what it was like with the Lamy nib on. Really, really easy to do. People have videos on how to do it. I know Chris has one. She uses quite a bit to get it done. I don't know if it was just my Junhua, my pens, but I literally just with a bit of rubber could pop it on and off. I didn't need a jewellery screwdriver or anything else, but maybe that's just the luck of the draw with the pens I have. I'm only using this pen for the first time this month. Thus far, I am enjoying it. The thing that I notice straight away is that it is quite a wet writer. I'm just writing extra fine because that's actually what I got, even though at the moment it does have the Lamy Medium on it. I can see myself taking a pen like this to work. It's really cheap. It wouldn't bother me if I lost it, but it also writes really well. The only thing with my Junhua is when I am inking it up, after you've cleaned it, it hard starts. It takes ages, and I basically need to like prime the feed to the point of it dripping to get it running. Once I do that and clean up, that mess, and it regulates, it writes fine. It did that when I tested it out for a video. It's done that when I've needed to ink it up to use in this month's rotation. So that's a little bit of an annoyance, but for me, it's not a deterrent. It's pretty easily fixed. The other Junhua pen I have is this one, which is the Junhua 82. And I got this in a fine nib. Again, looks very similar to another pen. In my video, I think I called this the sky blue. I think it might be light blue. On AliExpress, I've seen it written in two different ways. I've only used this pen kind of when I first got it and testing it out. I haven't used it in an ink rotation or currently inked yet. But when I did use it to just kind of test out the pen, I really enjoyed it. It feels really nice in the hand. I kind of don't mind I like the shape. So I am really excited to give this one a go. This one, for me, worked straight away. I didn't need to do any tinkering. I had to separate the tines a tiny bit on that one to get it working the first time. This worked straight out of the box. I really like it. I think it's a nice line, puts down a nice amount of ink, and it just feels nice in my hand. But yeah, super interested to see what it's like to use it, actually use it properly, really put it through its paces. Then we go to my two Moonman pens, and I'll start with this one. I actually got this originally. This is the Moonman or Mahjong N6. It actually comes as a glass dip pen, which is actually just an acrylic, a plastic. but it also comes with this extra fine Fude nib, and it, literally, if I can just get in here. Right, I don't want to wreck it. This just, there you go, screws in and out, so you can pop the other one in. My acrylic nib was really scratchy, and I tried to see if I could mess around with it a bit to fix it, and I actually broke it. I didn't like writing with it anyway, so this for me now is just this extra fine Fude nib, which I actually really love. I really like writing with. I love the look of the pen. I like the size of it. I like it, how it feels in my hand. Only downside to this pen is it doesn't post, which is a bit annoying. It's fine for me, but if you had bigger hands, that could be a little bit of a deterrent. So I guess I use this pen. This was kind of the extra nib, and it's kind of sold for that dip pen purpose, but I actually use it with this, and I really enjoy this nib. Just getting that in the ink there. Just bear with me while I clean that one off. The other Moonman pen I have is this one, which again does look very similar. The Pilot Vanishing Point is a pen that I really want one day. I wasn't sure how I'd feel about the clip, so I did get this to test it out, but I have to say I am so impressed with this pen. I'm really loving it. I love how it feels. I love the weight. I love the clicky, and the nib is fantastic. I've had a really great experience with this pen, and I really, really like it. And I do note that it seems that Moonman and Mahjong are kind of interchangeable names, but on this pen it actually has Moonman, so that's why I've decided to go with that. And I didn't think I said this at the beginning. It's called the Moonman A1, and this is the extra fine. And this is inked with Pilot Iroshizuku Kirisami. That one is Robert Oster Hippo Purple. I'm just trying to think the ones I didn't say. And that Lamy Safari is Ferris Wheel Press Tumbling Time Blue, which is a shimmer, but I didn't agitate the pen, so you might not see that. So let's go over to the next page. You can see there that Parker just bleeds through tons, little bits in the Moonman N6. A little bit in the Junhua, interestingly, because when I wrote with it, it didn't do that at all. Maybe I just dipped that one, so maybe there was just a bit too much there. But otherwise, just kind of your normal Stalogy ghosting. Okay, 4 pens left. After that, I'm going to do the 2 TWSBIs that I have. The first TWSBI that I got, it's a pen that is recommended by almost everyone, is the TWSBI Echo in black. Full disclosure, I actually didn't like this pen when I first got it. I am enjoying it more and more now that I am using it more. We've had to get to know each other, but I am really enjoying it now. In Australia, these retail for kind of around $70. So when you're looking at starter pens, this is more expensive. The Preppy's around $8, the Kakuno $20 to $25. These ones can vary quite a bit, but around your $40. Similar with this one. So this is jumping up in price, but I think it's worth it for what you get, the build quality of it, the writing experience. It's a piston filler, the ink capacity. I think it's a great pen, and I got this in an extra fine nib. And this is inked with Robert Oster Australis Rose. The next 2 pens I actually got for Christmas. One of them I have used and one of them I haven't yet. But the first pen I got for Christmas is another TWSBI. This is the TWSBI Go, which is their pocket pen. I got this in a fine nib. I think the first thing that you'll see is it's a cheaper pen, and it does look cheaper. The plastic doesn't look as nice. It doesn't have, you know, the nicer finishes. It's not a piston filler. It's like this spring thing, but it is the same nib. I've only used this pen a little bit. I found it really hard to fill up using the spring mechanism with an ink sample vial, but aside from that, it's writing really nicely. It's the same nib, and I'm going to presume the same feed, and I don't mind the feel of a pocket pen. I quite like that. So this is the TWSBI Go, and this is Robert Oster Burgundy Chocolate Notes. I'm just interested. It put down a lot of ink for that tea. It's actually feathering a bit in the eye as well. I'm not sure. It hasn't done that before. I don't know. I used it yesterday. I haven't used it today, but yeah, interesting that it's just done that there. That tea's feathering, and I've never had that with that pen. Next up, and I haven't even tested this pen yet, so we're going to experience it together. The second pen I got for Christmas is the Pen BBS 308 in Vermouth Gold. The one thing I'm confused about is I got it from the Desk Bandit. Well, Santa got it for me from the Desk Bandit. And on the Desk Bandit, it's written as the 308. But on the cap, it says, can you see that? 266. So I think it's the Pen BBS 308, but I have no idea why on the cap it says 266. So either the cap's wrong or the Desk Bandit's wrong, which seems a bit bizarre, or the two numbers are interchangeable. I'm really not sure. But aside from that, the second pen I got for Christmas is this Pen BBS in the Vermouth Gold colour. I love this green colour, but that it's also transparent. It comes included with a converter there. A nice big nib. This is in fine. The Pen BBS do have different nibs, like they have rounded nibs as well. This is just kind of the standard one. I can't tell you anything about what it's like to fill because I have not used it yet, but let's dip it in some ink and see how it goes. I will film a new pen day video on this pen I got a couple of Pen BBS inks as well. I've used one last year that I really liked, but I got a few more. Just seeing what it's like. For me, posting it makes it back heavy, so I would write with that unposted. I think that size is okay. I don't need to go into all of this because I'll do a video. But let's dip it in and see. I'm excited about this pen. So this is Pen BBS. First thing I notice is it isn't as smooth as that TWSBI Go, but I kind of like the thinner line. It almost looks like it didn't put a lot of ink down, but I am just dipping it, so I don't want to pass judgment on it without really investigating and using it properly. I hopefully can use this pen maybe in February. I'm really interested to give it a go. I think it looks really nice. Last but not least, the last pen I have, this is probably my fanciest pen, my most expensive pen. It's my only gold pen, and I actually got it secondhand, but I absolutely love it. It is the Pilot E95S 14 karat gold in a fine nib. I love everything about this pen. I love how it writes. I love how it looks. I love it when it's capped. Obviously you have to write with it capped. I love it when it's closed. I just love this pen. I also would really love to find the burgundy one, to be able to find that secondhand and love that would be great as well. So this is it's just so smooth in fine. That is Noodler's Ink Black Swan in Australian Roses. So turning over, yeah, the TWSBI came through a little bit, but otherwise pretty stock standard. So that is, let's start that sentence again. That is the current state of my fountain pen collection. I really love the pens that I have. I'm probably the least emotionally connected to these two. I wouldn't mind selling that one. I am loving the Quebecos. I would really love to get the special edition dark olive one, and then also the sage. I don't know, something about green Quebecos just speaks to me. I don't know if I end up, because I have the calligraphy set, maybe Quebeco, do I get one in every nib size and then stop? That would kind of be really awesome. These pens I'm liking so far, but they are new to me, and I am aware that people have quite strong opinions about some of these pen brands and the choices that they make. That being said, this Moonman I'm absolutely loving, really, really enjoying it. I still absolutely want the Pilot Vanishing Point, but this for me would be chucking in my bag, go to work. I could probably even afford to have another one. Really loving that pen. Then we have the TWSBIs that, I am really enjoying. We had this one and I had a rough start, but I'm really liking it. I know a lot of people collect the TWSBI Echoes. Pardon me. I don't think that's something I'm going to do. I would love to try one of their minis, whether it's the 580 mini or the VAC mini. The VAC mini I think could be a really cool pen to add to my collection. My voice is just going, sorry, I'm just drinking some tea. And then the pen BBS and this gorgeous little Pilot E95S. That is the current state of my collection. Small, humble, but so loved. I really do love everything. And there's a preppy somewhere. And I guess if you do this, these are the ones that I really use. I don't use this. I want to fix it properly. What isn't pictured here is I did buy some vintage pens. I've set myself a little project of trying to restore them, but none of them are in working order at the moment, so I'm not including it. But hopefully when I do this video again next year, you will see those pens as part of my collection. I know a lot of people have been thinking about, within this hobby, the consumerist and capitalist side effects of it. I think a lot about the consumerism aspect of it, not just so much in pens, but that, I love writing in paper, but that also has an environmental impact. So I haven't decided exactly, but I want to make sure that I'm purposeful with my pen purchases, not just this year, but every year, but, really thinking about that this year. Some people go, okay, I'm only buying one pen a month. I don't know if it's like that for me. I wonder if it's about, do I look at buying pens secondhand, or I haven't exactly worked it out yet, but I definitely do want to be conscious. And then also, if I find that I'm really not drawn to a pen, find another home for it, and not find another home in trying to make money. It's not about that. I think they deserve to be used, and if someone actually is going to use this, I'm more than happy to sell it, and then it can be loved and it's not just sitting in a drawer here. I think actually, if you are interested in those aspects of it, I know Simone spoke a little bit about it in her like top 5 and not worst, but like least, or things she, I guess, wouldn't get again video, kind of her thoughts on her approach to this hobby, love, passion. That video is definitely worth a watch. But that's where my head is at around all of it. And this is my fountain pen collection. I would love to know. I'm going to assume most of you have some of these pens because there's a lot of starter pens in here. I'm only a few months into this hobby, but I just love to know, I guess, know your thoughts in general. Is there a pen here that you also started out with and have now moved on to? Always love to hear from people who love this pen because I just love it so much, so much. I kind of want it. I don't know if I want it in an extra fine and a medium, or I don't know. I'm just in fangirling over that pen at the moment. Yeah, I would love to hear your thoughts. If you could comment below if there's a pen that stood out to you, or I guess what your favorite pen is, or what is the one you are hoping to add to your fountain pen collection this year. While you're in the comments, if you could hit like and subscribe, that would be awesome and super helpful. If you don't want to, that's totally fine too. Thank you so much, as always, for hanging out with me today. I cannot wait to chat to you all again soon. Bye.